Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American sci-fi film from 2025, titled Lookout. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. In the opening scene, a strange light is seen descending from space towards the Earth. A lone camper is walking through a forest when he finds an abandoned campsite, and nearby, he discovers a man tied to a tree and bleeding black blood. Suddenly, the camper screams, and the story then goes back in time to show how everything started. We meet the main character, Melissa, a park ranger driving from the city to Coconino National Forest. She is going there to take over a shift at a remote fire lookout tower. While driving, she receives a text from her boyfriend, and as she tries to reply, she almost hits a man standing in the road but stops just in time. When Melissa gets out of the car to check, the man is gone, and as she returns to her car, the man suddenly appears and scares her. He introduces himself as Skeeter, and Melissa asks why he is in the forest and reminds him that hunting season is over. Skeeter says that someone named Deli told him not to talk to her, and soon after, Deli arrives with another man named Buck. Deli is angry at Skeeter for going near the road, and when Melissa asks if they are hunting, Deli says they are only scouting. She warns them that hunting out of season is illegal, but Deli claims they are conservationists and that their weapons are only for protection. Melissa tells them not to kill anything until the following week, and they all leave, and as Melissa continues driving, she reaches a locked gate. She gets out to open it, not knowing that her car radio is making a strange static sound. After driving through, she begins to close the gate but sees a car coming fast toward her. She locks the gate, and she and the driver, Deli, briefly stare at each other. Melissa drives away, and the other car leaves as well, and after a long drive, Melissa arrives at the fire lookout tower deep in the forest. She meets Billy, the ranger whose shift she is taking over. She tries to tell him about what happened on the road, but Billy is not interested and is eager to leave. He explains her duties, warns her not to leave the tower area, and then drives away. Melissa climbs up the tower and enjoys the view, and inside, she unpacks her things and makes the place comfortable. When she tries to report forest conditions to the captain by radio, she finds out the solar power is not working. She goes downstairs, turns on the backup generator, and contacts Captain Edgewood. He is upset at first because she reported late, but he becomes more understanding when he realizes it is her first day. While giving her report, a bird suddenly flies into the tower and appears to be dead. Despite this, Melissa finishes the report and says the forest is clear, and Captain Edgewood tells her to report again at 5 p.m. Later, Melissa removes the dead bird, takes a photo of it, and buries it. That evening, she tries to meditate but receives a call from her boyfriend and ends it. The next morning, she reports again and goes through her daily routine. That night, she receives a call from another ranger named Roy, who is working in a different forest. They talk for a long time and share personal stories, and Roy says he is glad to finally talk to someone after months of only speaking to Billy and the captain. Melissa explains that she volunteered for this job to get away from problems with her boyfriend, which is why she ignores his calls. Later that night, while Melissa is sleeping, a bright light is seen falling into the forest. The next day, Melissa jogs around the tower and then goes downstairs to shower, and while showering, someone watches her without her knowing. She hears strange noises, quickly covers herself, and runs back upstairs. After covering up, she uses binoculars to look around the forest but sees nothing unusual. When it is time to report again, Melissa radios the captain, and after that, she leaves the tower to explore nearby. In the forest, she finds empty cans on the ground and then sees a bear trap, which she carefully disarms with a stick. She notices a strange substance on a tree branch and hears disturbing noises. Following the sound, she finds a campsite where an MP3 player is playing, and she turns it off. As she is about to leave, a woman suddenly appears, repeatedly saying, "I don't have it." The woman has badly burned legs and looks traumatized, and Melissa calms her down. The woman introduces herself as Connley, and Melissa tells her she needs medical help and begins helping her back toward the tower. As they leave, the camera shows the burned campsite and the strange substance left behind. Back at the tower, Melissa helps Connley sit on the stairs and goes inside to call for help. While doing this, she accidentally knocks over the solar panel outside. She successfully contacts an operator, who says help is coming, and when Melissa returns with a first aid kit, Connley is gone. The operator then contacts Captain Edgewood, who is nearby with other rangers, and report the situation. Back at the tower, Melissa finds Connley standing and staring into the forest. She helps her sit again, and Skeeter is seen watching from the woods. Soon after, Captain Edgewood and the other rangers arrive and take Connley away for medical treatment. Even though Melissa helped save Connley, Captain Edgewood is angry with her for leaving the tower. He reminds her that her job is only to watch for fires and orders her to fix the broken solar panel before leaving. Frustrated, Melissa carries the panel inside. She receives another text from her boyfriend but ignores it. The next morning, after reporting the incident to the captain, Melissa goes downstairs to start the generator. On her way back, she finds a small bag, and inside she finds a precious stone, and wonders who left it near the tower. That night, while Melissa is researching the precious stone, she receives a call from Roy, and they talk about how their day went. Roy tells her that Connley is getting proper medical care and thanks Melissa for saving her life. Suddenly, a strong storm begins, and deep in the forest, Skeeter is seen digging in the ground and pulling out a precious stone. Back at the tower, Melissa and Roy continue talking until the storm causes the call to suddenly disconnect. Later that night, as Melissa gets ready to sleep, the radio turns on by itself and begins making static noise. When she tries to answer, the radio shuts off, and she goes back to the couch. However, moments later the radio turns on again, and this time, she hears a voice say, "It is mine," before the radio goes silent. The next morning, Melissa continues her daily routine and radios Captain Edgewood to report on the forest conditions. She then packs some items, including a camera and bear spray, and heads into the woods. She returns to the burned campsite and takes pictures of the black substance she finds there. Suddenly, another camper appears and startles her. He is Ethan, the same man seen at the beginning of the movie. After looking at the campsite, Ethan believes it was caused by a bear attack, but Melissa disagrees. Ethan says he is camping nearby, and Melissa asks if he noticed anything strange the night before, but he says nothing unusual happened except the storm. Ethan then leaves to pack up his camp, and as he walks away, Melissa secretly takes a photo of him. That night, Melissa talks with Roy and tells him about meeting Ethan. She says she feels suspicious of him and thinks he might be a creep. As their conversation becomes more personal, Roy tells Melissa about his wife, who is a psychiatrist. He explains that he volunteered for his job because after retiring, he and his wife wanted to live a quiet and peaceful life. Melissa then shares her own reason for taking the job. She says she was looking for something, hoping for a fresh start, but admits that she is really running away from herself. Later that night, Melissa wakes up and studies the black substance she photographed at the campsite. The next morning, after reporting to Captain Edgewood about the forest, she goes back into the woods. As Melissa walks deeper into the forest, she starts to hear strange sounds and feels like someone is following her. She becomes frightened and begins to run, but unfortunately, she steps into a bear trap that snaps shut on her leg, causing her to scream in pain. Ethan hears her screams and runs to help her. He frees her leg from the trap and helps her stand. Ethan offers to carry Melissa back to her lookout tower, and this surprises her because she never told him where she lives. Ethan insists that she mentioned it the day before, and when Ethan continues to push her toward the tower, Melissa pulls out her bear repellent and sprays him, but she realizes too late that it is only filled with water. At that moment, Deli and Buck appear and point their bows at Ethan, forcing him to back away. As Deli helps Melissa leave the area, Buck keeps his arrow aimed at Ethan and fires a shot, but Ethan dodges it. Ethan then attacks Buck, pulls a precious stone from Buck's pocket, and kills him by snapping his neck. Deli and Melissa reach Deli's car and try to escape, but Ethan stops them by grabbing the vehicle with his hands. When Melissa threatens to shoot him with a gun, Ethan finally lets them go, showing that he is not human. When Melissa asks what he is, Deli simply answers, "The devil," and drives away. They arrive at the place where Skeeter is tied to a tree, and Deli quickly runs to free Skeeter, who is badly injured. Moments later, Ethan confronts Melissa while she is still inside the car. Before he can hurt her, Deli steps in and begins fighting Ethan, and during the fight, Ethan tries to grab a bracelet. As the fight grows more violent, Skeeter helps Melissa out of the car. Deli is eventually stabbed with his own knife and killed, and Ethan takes the bracelet that contains the stone. Ethan turns his attention to Melissa, who is hiding inside a tent. He tells her that she cannot escape and asks her to stop resisting and give him what he wants. Melissa escapes through the other side of the tent, and when Ethan tries to follow her, Skeeter confronts him. Skeeter, bleeding a strange substance, asks Ethan what he has done to him, and Ethan replies that he has given him a gift. Skeeter shoots an arrow at Ethan, but Ethan dodges it, grabs the arrow, and repeatedly stabs Skeeter until he is dead. Ethan then goes after Melissa again, and when she asks why he is doing all this, Ethan tells her that she has something that belongs to him. Melissa tells Ethan that she does not have anything that belongs to him and tries to hit him, but Ethan easily overpowers her. As he starts dragging her away, Melissa grabs a stone and smashes the bracelet on Ethan's wrist. She then hits him in the face, and Ethan begins bleeding a strange substance. Melissa runs back toward the lookout tower, with Ethan chasing her. When she reaches the tower, she hides the precious stone, knowing it is what Ethan wants. She then arms herself with an axe and waits, and soon after, Roy arrives at the tower. At that moment, Ethan appears and throws Roy off the tower, and he searches the tower for the precious stone. Heartbroken by what she believes is Roy's death, Melissa grabs a fake stone and throws it outside, tricking Ethan into chasing after it. Melissa rushes to Roy and discovers that he is still alive, but badly injured. Ethan soon realizes that the stone he followed is fake and that it is just an ordinary rock. Furious, he turns back toward Melissa and prepares to attack her. Melissa grabs the axe and strikes Ethan on the shoulder, stopping him. Believing everything is finally over, Melissa tries to rest. However, a black substance comes out of Ethan's mouth and moves into Roy. Controlled by the substance, Roy begins chasing Melissa. She runs to Roy's vehicle and uses his radio to call for help. Grabbing a lug wrench, Melissa prepares to kill the possessed Roy, but he manages to cough up the black substance, returning to normal. With the ordeal finally over, Melissa returns to the tower to radio for help, but knowing Captain Edgewood would scold her again, she becomes frustrated and throws the radio outside. The next day, Captain Edgewood and Billy arrive at the tower after receiving no report from Melissa the previous day. After discovering the bodies and seeing Melissa in a state of shock, Captain Edgewood does not question her and simply takes her to his vehicle. Meanwhile, Billy comes across the black substance and places his hand into it. Captain Edgewood goes up to the tower to collect Melissa's belongings and tells Billy that he will need to take over Melissa's post again, as finding a new ranger to replace her at this point would be difficult. Billy agrees, and Edgewood says goodbye before driving Melissa away from the tower. As the film concludes, Billy discovers the precious stone that Melissa hid in a bucket, revealing that he has now become possessed by the entity. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Lookout from 2025. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.